the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy sloop. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing today? Thank you, everybody, for being here. Happy Friday. I haven't said that in a while because I was at the lake for several weeks, and when you're at the lake, you just don't pay attention to what day it is. So I wasn't even sure. As a matter of fact, I posted on Facebook a happy birthday to my granddaughter, my oldest. The day before her actual birthday, she sent me a message and said, Lolly, it's tomorrow. And I was like, oops, okay. My days were so messed up, but happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing good. We got some stuff to talk about today. Before we do, let me say hello to those we have with us. Hello, TJ. Hey, Bobby. Oh, goodness. Hope you can stay awake. If not, you can catch us on replay, but thank you for being here. Hey, Miss Kathy, how are you? Cinderella, how you doing? Miss Rhonda. Hope you're doing better, Miss Rhonda. Let's see, anybody else? There's Charlene. Hello to you. Laura W. Hi. Hello, Victoria. Let's see. Bridget. Bridget said, hello, everyone. Been away for a while, looking after my daughter after her surgery. She's still in recovery, but getting better. Hope you're all kept well, happy, and well. Hope your daughter is doing well and recovering good. I hope all things are going positive for her. Miss Teresa, how are you? Good to have you. Hey, Bridget. Let's see who else we got with us today. Cool Gamer 2, how are ya? Thanks for being here. Narita, always good to have you with us. Yehuda, hello. Oh, well, Yehuda, we're glad to have you. Thank you for joining us and thanks for subscribing. We love new people coming in with us. New ideas, new thoughts. That's what it's all about, guys. Hi, April T. How are you? Good to have you. Okay, guys. So, today we're not going to talk about Sebastian. As many of you know, if you saw the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case with Brian Kohberger, but we were supposed to have, allegedly, with Brittany J come on live with us. However, there are some people out in this world that feel it necessary to dig way far back into her family history and bring out some stuff that is just no one's business whatsoever. It's absolutely disgusting. And that has absolutely thrown her for a loop, because why would you dig all the way back to 2017, 2018? Why would you need to do that? Because you're a hateful, hateful person. That is the only reason. The people that do this are seriously mentally ill in the head. And yes, I said it. I don't agree with it. It's wrong, and people should leave personal lives alone. End of story. Hey, Weston, thanks for being with us. Appreciate you so much. Hang on for just a second. Okay. My AC unit kicked on. It's right beside me here, so I was going to turn it down so we could hear. Anyways, yes, it is a horrible thing that is happening. So very wrong. And the things that they're saying, if it was something that could possibly still be ongoing, folks, they have just put her family, her children, possibly in danger. Not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying they don't know. But they don't care. So I avoid the drama, and that is the reason why. Oh, Bridget, it got worse today. It got worse to the point to where even Granny took down her live after her big explosion of a police report and things that happened in 2017. Those are personal, private situations in her family. But of course, they have nothing but horrible things to say about her and her whole family life. Folks, I'll tell you this much. I'm a much better person now than I was in 2017. It's called growing. You grow. Every year you grow, you change, you try to better yourself. But these people don't care. They are mental in the head. And that's the only way I can describe it. And it's absolutely disgusting. They are disgusting. And should they ever push someone over the edge to want to unalive themselves, of course, it will be the person they pushed, their fault, not the subscribers. They don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. And that's the scariest part of all. They take no responsibility for themselves. And then we end up with people who are terrified because they just don't care. They will push and push and push and push. They are bullies to the largest extreme, and they're grown-ups that are doing it. I'm sorry, but you have to be 100% mental in the head to do things like what they're doing. And guys, that is 100% my opinion. Bobby, thank you so much. Look at Bobby coming in. Thank you, Bobby, for the super sticker. We love you. Bobby, I appreciate you so much. I'm just really glad more than anything that you're here with us. You have such a kind heart, and we like you. And we're so happy that you're part of our family. They are psychopaths, TJ, yes. I mean, look who they're playing house with over there. They're all buddy and hanging out and all the things with the Proudfoots. You know, the people who lost a child from their home and go on vacation 8 days later. Yeah, they're all the same, in my opinion. So because of that, Brittany J is not going to be with us today. So I do apologize. We were really excited about it, but I completely 100% understand she has to deal with what they're putting out. It is disgusting. I don't blame her. I blame them. But the show will go on. As we know, in Idaho, we had 4 college students that were in a home that they all shared together. There was 5 of them. One girl had her boyfriend stay the night. Only 2 of them are still alive today. The rest of them are no longer with us. And we know that Brian Kohberger is the reason that this has happened. We listened to him as he sat in court and he accepted his guilty plea. Oh, Rhonda. Ooh, that's kind of creepy. You're going to see a bunch of Papa Rogers come up here in just a minute. But, you know, he gave a guilty plea to burglary, basically entering the home and unaliving 4 individuals. He has life, 4 counts of life without parole and no opportunity to appeal at any time. To me, that stated 100% he was guilty. I will be honest though, and I said this on Brittany J's panel the other night, I have questions. Did he pull this off on his own? Or was someone with him? So I don't know about that, but I listened to the Amazon Prime One Night in Idaho. It's a little docuseries. There's 4 episodes to it, but I learned so much, so very much about the kids, from their friends that were called to come to the house and that night, and oh my goodness, all the things that actually happened. I had no clue. There was one boy that was a designated driver. Was in a group where they all agreed to be designated drivers because of all the parties going on, and it was his night. He was going from party to party, from house to house around there, checking to see if anyone needed a ride. Left his number so if anybody needed him, he would be the person to drive them home. This young man was accused by people on campus because they called him a stalker going from party to party. Absolutely sad. But at that time, no one knew anything other than their friends were brutally stabbed until they were no longer alive. We now know it was 16 minutes that he was inside that home. Went to the top floor, straight to the top floor. And that is where he unalived the two girls. As he was coming down, they believe Xana heard something that was coming out of her room when he went into her room and unalived her and her boyfriend. During that docuseries, I wondered about a part where one of his fellow classmates, because we know Brian Kohberger was taking criminology classes. You know, this is the thing, Kelly, and I had the same questions. I didn't understand it. I was completely like so sus on the two girls that did not get harmed. The one girl was across the hall. And as he was coming down the steps, she actually opened the door and saw him. But that's not when he was leaving. He went into Xana's room at that time. She wasn't sure who it was, what was going on, and they had all been drinking heavily. She texted Xana, and Xana did not reply. And so she ran downstairs to the other girl's room in the basement. And they called and they texted and they called and texted, and they weren't getting any replies. They just assumed everybody was asleep. It wasn't until the next day that they saw where Xana was laying in her floor. And when they called out to her, she wasn't answering. They ran out of the home and called their friends to come because they were scared of what could possibly be wrong. There was one young man that showed up, and he went in and he saved all of the others from witnessing what they said was the worst of the brutal attacks. The room that had the blood dripping out from the floor down the outside of the home. So I'm fixing to play something for you because the guy that went to school was in the class with Brian Kohberger. Him and another girl had talked about it, talked about what kind of person he was. And so then I agree, Kelly. I don't understand. I think I would have done things differently, but I don't know. I do know this, that young lady, both of them are having very, very, very hard times in life right now. Yes, Hunter, the young man that went in, he told the girls to get out, call 911, and say there is someone unconscious. So he did not relay exactly what he saw. But as we're fixing to listen, there were case studies that they did, and one stood out to Brian Kohberger. Okay, me and you, yeah. It is very, if you have Amazon Prime, I really suggest going watching it, because there are friends that talk and tell you things. I thought their house was known as the party house. They occasionally had big parties, but most of the time it was their group of friends that was there in that home. It wasn't the open door policy everybody thought it was at first. Oh, I know, Bridget. It shows him talking and he just has to stop. I couldn't imagine the thoughts that go through his head when he closes his eyes. It's absolutely horrible. But I took and voice recorded some words from the Amazon Prime, and I inserted pictures, best of my ability to match the things they were saying, and some of it close to what they were showing. So I'm going to play you this little 7-minute video because it will explain to you who Elliot Roger is and the similarities between him and Brian Kohberger are a little eerie. And the fact that Brian Kohberger was very awkward. In the docuseries, it talks about how he would walk this girl to her car. He kind of liked her and wanted her to be his girlfriend, and yet he seemed overly obsessive, and she was very uncomfortable with him doing that, and she finally had to report him because he would not stop. One girl went on one date with him, and she felt uncomfortable, went to the bathroom, didn't come out for a long time, hoping he had gone away. He texted her when he got home and said, "You have very nice birthing hips." What a fruit. I don't know. But you're going to learn some things in this here, and I hope you enjoy this to the best you can. But I hope not so much enjoy it, but I hope it's very informative for you. And like I said, there'll be music playing because I have to add some to it. I will play this under copyright and fair use and all that stuff, because although I'm using some words, we're adding some music, and we're also not using their faces or anything like that, their actual video itself. So here we go. And at the end, there are a couple of things that I'm going to read out loud to you, and we'll discuss a few little pieces here at the end. But this is, like I said, about Brian Kohberger himself.
250,000 members. Somebody's going to say something that's going to be significant. People ask questions on this page and they like, oh, I think so-and-so did it. But he was so into like the crime scene and like the killer and why he did things. In hindsight, I see something very much along the same lines as the questionnaire that Brian Kohberger created for a school project. He wanted like the thoughts and feelings into why somebody committed crime. Papa Roger asked on our page, how did the killer leave the scene? Kohberger asked, how did you leave the scene in his questionnaire? Papa Roger said, did you clean up at all? Brian Kohberger asked, before leaving, is there anything else you did? The questions on his questionnaire are very similar to the questions that Papa Roger asked on our page. One post in particular that really catches my attention is his very first post on November 30th. Of the evidence released, the murder weapon has been consistent as a large fixed-blade knife. This leads me to believe they found the sheath. That is so odd because we didn't hear anything about the sheath. This has never been discussed publicly. This is November 30th. This is a full month before they even arrest him.
When he went back there in the morning, that was an oh shit moment. I left the sheath, and that has my DNA on it. That's what I truly believe. Where is that sheath? Oh my God, where is it? Probably freaking out, because he probably wore booties on his feet. He probably gloved up. He probably had long sleeves. He probably had a hairnet and a hood up, and knowing what he did know probably accounted for every little thing that he could. You can say you're going to do this, this, and this on any given day, but almost 100% of the time the plan has to deviate because you can't control the outcome.
I still think the more we find out that this was incel rage, rage against women because of his history with women, starting in high school where the girls would be bullying him.
Certain men feel like they are owed a relationship with a woman, that's not something they should have to earn, it's something that they should be given.
I did hear about a situation where Kohberger had followed a student out to her car, like trying to flirt with her, and she reported it to someone in the criminal justice department.
At Washington State University, he starts getting into altercations with students, and we find out later that he was fired from his TA-ship.
He got more feisty and belligerent, even arguing with his professors, until December 19th, Brian Kohberger is officially terminated by Washington State University.
And I'm pushing him for documents. I want to know about the stuff about Kohberger with the girls, if that's true. I want to see his record. But again, it's just tricky because there's rumors about his behavior at the school, but none of it's verified until we have the documentation.
At DeSales University, some of the people that Brian and I studied that were serial killers were Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Kempfer, and Elliot Rodger. So Elliot Rodger, he was a young man in college that was basically jaded and hated his life because he lacked the attention from friends, family, and most of all, women. So Elliot Rodger, one day, first he invited some people over that he claimed to be friends with. He stabbed them to death. He then went out with firearms to a sorority and killed a number of women in the sorority. He then drove around, shot multiple other people in public, and he ended his own life in his vehicle. But after the fact, there was a written manifesto, and he basically tells you, this is what I did, this is why I did it.
Roger's sexist rants are part of a culture that breeds violence against women.
Roger wrote, all of those beautiful girls I've desired so much in my life, but can never have because they despise and loathe me. I will destroy.
After Brian Kohberger is arrested, I start thinking, okay, Papa Roger, Elliot Rodger. If you listen to some of the manifestos of Elliot Rodger, he talks about hating all the girls from Alpha Phi, the same sorority that Kaylee was in.
Brian was interested in a lot of things that we learned, but he did have more of an interest in Elliot Rodger. I talked to other girls in the class where we were all bothered by what Elliot Rodger did, but Brian did not seem bothered.
Incel, in my professional opinion, this is a particularly dangerous version of misogyny because incel communities have this presence in an online space. They can say things and provide support for things that perhaps they wouldn't do in a face-to-face context because they would be concerned about what the social consequences or the repercussions would look like. because it's immediate, the speed, the algorithm, the echo chamber, and the anonymity. Perhaps leads people to think that their ideas are not so extreme. Elliot Rodger is glorified and valorized and martyred among communities that were coming together in these online spaces.
It was just so...
Xana Kernodle. Ethan Chapin. Haley Gonzalez. Madison Logan.
Okay, folks. If that doesn't touch your heart, I don't know what does, but there are evil people amongst us, unfortunately. And I agree, Bobby, it's hard to understand the evil in someone's mind. It makes absolutely no sense to me why there would have to be that. Why do people need to be a person that feels like they are the ones to take away others' lives, all because of their insecurities in life? Yes, Ethan was a triplet. His sister and his brother went to the same college as him. His parents were there, and you can hear this on the video, the Amazon Prime show. They were there 7 days prior to getting that phone call. When they left, they said they looked at each other and was like, we did it. We have grown children. We're moving into a new phase in life. And yet that phase only lasted for 7 more days. The manifesto that was mentioned that Elliot Rodgers wrote, folks, it was 107,000 pages. That's a lot. This itself is just the introduction to it, and it says, My Twisted World, the story of Elliot Rodger by Elliot Rodger. And I want y'all to listen close to these words that he uses here, because it's as if he glorifies himself. Humanity. All of my suffering on this world has been at the hands of humanity, particularly women. It has made me realize just how brutal and twisted humanity is as a species. All I ever wanted was to fit in and live a happy life amongst humanity. But I was cast out and rejected, forced to endure an existence of loneliness and insignificance, all because the females of the human species were incapable of seeing the value in me. This is a story of how I, Elliot Rodgers, came to be. This is the story of my entire life. It's a dark story with sadness, anger, and hatred. It is a story of war against cruel injustice. In this magnificent story, I will disclose every single detail about my life, every single significant experience that I have pulled from my superior memory. as well as how these experiences have shaped my views on the world. This tragedy did not have to happen. It didn't, I didn't want it. Let me rephrase that. I didn't want things to turn out this way. But humanity forced my hand, and this story will explain why. My life didn't start out dark and twisted. I started out as a happy and blissful child, living my life to the fullest in a world I thought was good and pure. I want to read this to you as well. Elliot Rodger killed 6 people in a stabbing and shooting spree in Isla Vista, California, May 2014. Before he turned the gun on himself, the 22-year-old posted a retribution video to YouTube and emailed a lengthy autobiographical document to almost 24 people he knew. An online community known as the involuntary celibate or incels, who blame women for their sexual failings, fastened upon the document. Folks, when I started out this live stream, I started out with people who are actually today up front and present in the YouTube community that are using people's bad times in their life and causing hate and attacks upon individuals. It's actually no different whatsoever, in my opinion. The outcomes hopefully will be different. But the hate and inhumanity is out there, living present as we speak right now in the YouTube community itself. We're seeing it happen. We saw it happen with Brian Kohberger. Elliot Rodgers went to a sorority house that is basically the same type of sorority that Kaylee was part of and Maddie was part of. He went there and unalived girls in that home because he hated them so much. He blamed them for his failures in life. In the documentary that I listened to, one of his school classmates said that he invited Brian Kohberger to a party. However, Brian Kohberger did not go. He didn't want to go. He was very much a loner. To say I'm going to make excuses on what I'm fixing to say is not what I'm trying to bring across. But at the same time, I have to say, you have to be careful who you are mean and ugly to. Because you don't know what those people are capable of. You do not know what their life has led them to believe is the issue in their life and what that could drive them to do. Not making excuses for any of them that have unalived people. It's uncalled for. But in their sick and twisted minds, they have made This Elliot Rodgers made a 107,000 page manifesto of his life and what led him to that moment that he knew was fixing to happen. People like that build themselves to a place of, I'm perfect. I don't understand why they can't see this, and they get pissed. These people continue to hurt me, but they don't see their downfalls themselves. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now happening on our streets. But we have people who are sick and twisted to the point we could never understand them because we don't think that way. We don't think that way. But when you stop and look into, I would say probably about 80% of the serial killers, they were loners. They were people that didn't quite fit in. And their rage was taken out on innocent people. People who deserve to still live their life to the fullest. Yes. There you go, Cece. I take this guy as one that sees himself as superior and has been shunned so many times that he felt the world was an ugly place. Sometimes it is. But take yourself out instead of the innocent. Exactly. But you saw that one picture of the four of them with the red X on it. That was a post in one of those incel groups where they talked about, unfortunately, he got caught, but he will be a martyr. I can only imagine in Brian Kohberger's mind how good he felt about that. I could only imagine. You saw the things that were put out by Papa Rogers, that I showed a lot of those, and some from the discussion group that were put out as well. Papa Rogers disappeared from all the groups just hours before he got arrested. Completely 100% gone. They honestly believe it was Brian Kohberger that was Papa Rogers asking the questions, and for him to make the comment that the killer must have left the sheath behind 1 month prior to anyone finding out there was a sheath that went to that knife. He basically told on himself. There are people in this world that live every day that do not think the same as the person standing beside them. And that is not a bad thing. That is not bad at all. That's what makes us all unique and different. But when you have, I don't think it is, Bobby. I don't think it is. Half the time it doesn't. But when you see people out in the world and you think, okay, that's a strange duck, you can kind of spot them. But when you see them smile, just say hi. It may be that that person is like Brian Kohberger and has no one or nothing and no encouragement in life and just might need that little extra. Did I miss one? Let me see, guys. Did I miss a thing? But you have to be that person that at least makes an attempt to be just someone that can smile and say hi to somebody. Bobby, you gave another one? Let me find it. Look at Bobby. Thank you, Bobby, so much. Yeah, it is absolutely not working. I had any color or anything. Thank you, Bobby. Let me get over here and get you a happy dance. Thank you for that, Bobby. You're so sweet. We love you. But folks, we have 4 kids that were going to school, living their best life. Parents that feeling like, okay, we did our job. Our kids are growing up. They're becoming little adults here. They're making it in life. Bobby, look, you don't have to do more. Thank you, Bobby. You're so sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that, Bobby. Thank you so much. But those families are now adjusting to a new life without their children. Those families have a life that will never, ever be the same, all because a person is out there in this world and he felt as if he could not meet up to the standards of these beautiful young ladies. It's absolutely sad. But I wanted to talk today a little bit about Elliot Rodgers because that is the one that Brian Kohberger seemed to concentrate on the most, according to those who went to class with him. The girl said her and the other girls were so worried and concerned and uneasy and all those feelings when they studied Elliot Rodger because his target was women. But Brian Kohberger had no problem whatsoever. Lori, yes. Now, I have a thought, nothing to back it up, but I wonder how his father, what kind of person his father is. Oh, Bobby, we're so glad you found us too. We love having you here. But I just wonder if possibly his dad might have known a little more than he was letting on. Of course, there had to have been something. In that documentary, it told how, as the cops were going to Brian Kohberger's house to arrest him, when they had gotten into his garbage and got DNA to compare to the sheath, because a family member had done what is it, the 23andMe, the family DNA site thing. His dad was linked into their family that had DNA that was very, very similar to Brian Kohberger's. It was enough to get them to go get a warrant, get something of his to test the DNA, to have it match the DNA left on that sheath. Oh, Queen, thank you so much. Thank you for that. You're so sweet. I love you, girl. Hope you're doing okay. Thank you, Queen, so much. And yes, Miss Kelly, I have heard that. I don't know if that is true or not. I've never had anything, showed any confirmation to it. But yes, I have heard that he made the plea deal because his mother is having a lot of health issues, which good for him. Good for him. At least he can do something out of some emotion for his mother. But I think the parents feel like they didn't get their justice for their child. But folks, it's my opinion and only my opinion that at the end of the day, when all of this settles down, I wonder if those parents are not going to feel relieved at some point or another that they did not have to sit there and listen to the horribly gruesome details that would have been talked about. It's absolutely sad. Horribly sad. There you go, Neuro. Yes. Neuro said, when I first heard of Brian, I was thinking real life Dexter working in criminology in day and playing it at night. Like the lady said on that audio that we had listened to a while ago, because she said it was strange the way he was putting out these surveys on the school's page there, and it was a discussion type group thing. He made this survey type of thing. What do you think? How did he do it? All these different questions. He's just being a student. Nobody would ever think twice of that. That would be part of what he's studying in school. However, at the same time, every single question he asked was the same questions being asked with those four and what happened to them and how. Yeah, the little clip I played a while ago, I just recorded the audio of some parts of the Amazon Prime video. If you have Amazon Prime, it is One Night in Idaho. It is very much worth watching that docuseries. It really touched my heart, and I wanted to talk about this. I haven't talked about the case because so many others were covering it and doing such a wonderful job. I just followed along with them, but this is something that really stood out to me because Brian Kohberger was such a weird duck. I don't know if you understand what I say when I say that, but he was such a weird person. And we know he got stopped 2 times in one trip, moving himself back far, far away from Washington State, far away from Idaho. We saw that. He was strange. He apologized for even asking questions as to why they had him pulled over. I mean, it was just, she told you were following too close behind people. But then when I heard about the Elliot Rodgers and how he was so wrapped up and consumed into that study of that person, it just was scary to me. There are groups out there that have their own little dark area of the internet where they can talk about these things, and they look up to Brian Kohberger for the things he did. They can post a picture of the 4 college kids that were in their home, in their beds, living life to the fullest. And yet they never got to wake up and have another day because of this disgusting person called Brian Kohberger. But yet on that dark little place of the internet, they look at him as a hero. They have an X over those kids' picture. And they think he is some great person. Oh no, Bobby. Oh goodness. Well, if you have Amazon Prime shopping, then you get the Amazon Prime videos as well. So that's where I found it. That's where I watched it. And I was completely blown away because it's like, oh my gosh, did he study that case to the point of getting all of his ideas? Is that where he learned what he was going to do? Took all of his criminal defense theories and learning and how to get away with everything to pull off this perfect crime, but yet he forgot the sheath. Had it not been for that one thing, I'm not sure if there would be deals being made in court with that man right now. But because, as his classmates said, that was an oh shit moment for him. Where's the sheath? Where's my sheath? We actually know for a fact that he purchased on Amazon after the kids were unalived another K-bar knife and sheath. He already had one purchased, but he was already purchasing another. He took his license plates and changed them from Washington State to Pennsylvania because they were looking for a car that they had on video driving by all those times with Washington tags. This man studied and was very highly intelligent and learned all the things just from his class. Then you add in the fact that he studied that serial killer, Elliot Rodgers, and he learned and probably read that 107,000 page manifesto about all the bad in that man's life and possibly related his life to it. He probably, after reading all that, sat that whole manifesto down and said, oh my goodness, that's me. I questioned how important was that manifesto to him, to Brian Kohberger. How did he relate himself to 107,000 pages? is horribly scary to think. Cece, I think I agree with you on that when, the most asked questions, did they suffer? I would say no. I really would. I think the first stab probably went towards the heart. That man was only in there 16 minutes, which can be a lifetime or it can be very quickly. But for as many stab wounds that there were upon all four of them total, it's quite a while. Quite a while. And for some reason, Ethan seemed to get the worst end of it. His was brutal. And from what I've heard in little pieces here and there, he was actually, they believe, asleep. You have to remember these kids had gone out and they had been drinking. They were not in a clear state. They had been up all day, all night, partying, hanging out, going to dances and out to clubs and all the things, and ordering food at 4:00 in the morning, when just a few minutes later their friends started being unalived. Folks, there are some bad people out in this world. We talk about missing children. It's out of respect for others that we don't talk about the possibilities of what could happen or have happened to those children. Neuro, I have heard lots of people mention that as well. I really have, because that's just kind of where his mind frame could get so distorted. Yes, Bridget, he is a coward as well as a sicko, very much so. I can't even stand to look at the man. He just has evil, dead intent in his eyes. It's just nothing there. I believe I told y'all about the Chad Dorman, that when he unalived his 3 children and called the police and said what he just did, and said, I'll be sitting on my front steps. And they came and got him. The first time they showed him, he was being arraigned. He was standing there with a very blank, evil, hate stare. And as that judge started reading about his children and what he did to his children, the tears, he was trying to fight back, and you can see the emotion coming across him. That man I watched close his eyes, put his head down. And folks, when he looked up and opened his eyes, they were as black as coal. Nothing but evil. And I can't help but think and wonder about Sebastian and what is going on and happening in his home before he came up missing. Yes, they were trying to use the autism. I think he just allowed himself to be put in a place and labeled. And that's just my opinion. And he took it and ran with it as an excuse. Just as I'm saying, we see this today on our own YouTube streets. Excuses being made as to why they feel entitled. You can say it, You can create it, you can name it whatever the hell it is you want to, but at the end of the day, it's all the same. It's pure evil. And that is my opinion. And there's a lot of evil out in the world. And for anyone to do anything to a child, especially, is extra mental evil. So, folks, I'm not going to keep you much longer. I hope you enjoyed this, or not. I hate to say the word enjoyed, but I hope that, it gave you a little insight into Brian Kohberger and the bad place that his mind had to have been in for him to do those things. Just like Ted Bundy, just like Jeffrey Dahmer, just like the other guy, I forget his name, just like all of them. All of them. There's a sick place waiting for people like them. And there is no person on the face of this earth that should ever mortalize them, ever martyr them. They should never, ever be put up on a pedestal for the evil things they've done. But unfortunately, there are more people out there just like them that do that very same thing. And it's so horribly sad. Guys, before I get too busy and forget here, tomorrow, I was hoping to do a members live tomorrow. My granddaughter asked me to please come tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, to her softball tournament. It will be an all-day tournament. And so I may not be able to get to the members live, but we are doing it for sure Sunday afternoon. We will do it. So y'all look for that. I am going to, right now, I was hoping to do this the day before, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow on here. But give me just a minute, because I am fixing to give some memberships. And let's see here. Can I do it here? I think I got to go. Trying to figure out where I got to go do it at. Got to get all these places opened up, but let me get some memberships going. Hey, Jackie T. Thank you. But I'm hoping we can get y'all some memberships gifted so that you can hear what we got to say going on tomorrow. We are going to be talking about some stuff to help Sebastian with his case. Let's see here. Let's go right here. Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm too old to sit too long like this, guys. Getting all kinds of stoved up. Hang tight with me here. Oh, okay. I think I got it muted. Sorry. I had to get to my live stream on my tablet to get these memberships gifted here. Gifted. I'm going to send 5 of them right now. There's 5. And let's do 5 more. All right. Did 5 more go through? Nope. Okay, let's try 5 more. There we go. Alrighty, guys. There we go. There we go. Welcome to all of our new members. Love and appreciate everybody. And to the month membership. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Welcome, welcome, everybody. And look for us for our, oh, yes, Carol. Yay. Welcome, welcome. You'll be able to join us now for our members live that we're going to do Sunday. We're going to talk about Sebastian Rogers and some new stuff, people that we're working with to try and help his case. And there goes Bobby again. Bobby, you are so gracious. Thank you. Oh, we love you, Bobby. Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. Thank y'all so much for helping me to try and meet my goal. I'm behind schedule for the month. We don't have much longer left. So I'm trying to play catch up here. But like I say, if I could just get my storage paid for, I can breathe. So thank you, Bobby. That does help me a lot. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. I got to get in touch with someone and take care of some stuff on my personal life end. But I am so thankful y'all were with me today. I hope this was something that interested y'all in learning a little bit more about the sick mind behind the man who unalived those four beautiful souls. Is just unheard of. And folks, I know you don't like the drama and all that's happening, but I apologize for bringing it in first thing right off the bat. But guys, it's got to stop. Grown people acting as if they're in junior high and loving every minute of it and blaming their victim. It's absolutely disgusting, guys. Say a prayer for Brittany J, if you don't mind, because no one deserves the things they're doing to her. And our Blue Eyes is taking a little vacation for a couple days, and she will be having surgery very, very soon. So please, let's remember her in your prayers as well. Okay. Oh, thank you, Lori. If it works out to where I have time to just sit, because it's almost an hour drive to the ball complex where they play. And if I got time to sit between game times or whatever, I might do a pop-up live. So y'all make sure to hit that bell and make sure you got all notifications checked. And that way, if I get to come on, it's going to be one of those, hey, let's chat. Nothing more, nothing less. No worries in the world. We're just going to hang out and see what's going on for the day. So if I can do that, I for sure will. And then Sunday, we will do a members live. And then I'll try to do another live that evening for Sebastian. So anyways, thank you all for being here. Love you all so much. Stay safe out on the streets. Keep your heads held high. And thank you guys for just being who you are. And thank y'all for being here with me. Love and hugs, everybody. See y'all soon. Bye.